This is Capital Center, Landover, Maryland. Is a big one today, the 85th game of the season for the Cavaliers and the Bullets, and one of them won't come out of it. One of them goes on vacation when this one's over. The other advances against Houston. Dick Motta, the Washington coach, said it's not going to be pretty out there today. It's going to be tough.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by the totally new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it. Honda Civic sedan, hatchback, and wagon. Honda Civic, what the world is coming to. And by light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
This is the Capital Center in Landover, Maryland, a suburb of Washington, D.C. And this is Game 3 of a best-of-3 series between the Washington Bullets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's the final game of the season for one of them. Hello, everybody. I'm Don Cricky. This is Mendy Rudolph. Mendy, you've worked a lot of these games that the season ends for one outfit, and they're tough.
They're pressure-packed because no one likes to end the season. Everybody wants to go on further into the rest of the semifinals. Tough ball game.
Defense is often a big factor.
Yes, no question about it. Washington would like to run. They like to run up the score and get ahead quick so that they can control the style of play. Cleveland, on the other hand, will try to control the ball, more of a pattern offense. We'll try and set up outside shooting, some perimeter shooting, and we've got to look for that style of play today.
Now, the team that took command at the outset has won the two previous games. In Game 1 here at Landover, Maryland, Washington jumped out to a quick 8-0 lead, went on to win the game 109-100. In Game 2 on Friday night at Richfield, Ohio, the Cavaliers jumped out to a 7-0 lead, and they won that game by 9 points. So what they do at the outset is a big factor, and Elvin Hayes is a guy that's going to be very important in this game.
He'll be the most important cog on the offense of Washington, no question. And undoubtedly, Cleveland will double team and possibly triple team Elvin Hayes at the outset, leaving open Phil Chenier for the outside shot. Now, Elvin Hayes has a tendency to force some shots, but if he looks to Phil Chenier for the outside shot, he'll be open quite often today. Cleveland, on the other hand, will look for Austin Carr, who shot very well at the late stages of the game, during the late stages of the season, I should say. And they'll look also to Jim Chones, their big center, who will have to defend against Elvin Hayes. And look for some inside game, possibly with Footsy Walker doing some penetrating for Cleveland. Should be some very interesting matchups, Don.
If you get right down to the bottom line on this, this is a street fight. This is a tough physical game. Two very aggressive teams. Everything is on the line. You're going to see NBA basketball at its absolute best. As the Cavaliers and the Washington Bullets have completed their warm-ups now, they've gone back over, and we'll be looking very shortly at how they match up. One of the key players in the Cleveland season, Jimmy Clemens, the backcourt player out of Ohio State, he's not even in uniform today, out with the groin pull, and that's going to hurt this team.
It's going to put a lot of pressure on Austin Carr, going to put a lot of pressure on Footsy Walker. They're going to have to pick up the slack, but talking to Bill Fitz before the game, they're ready for it. Both teams are up sky high.
Another big game today, of course, the opener of the Boston-Philadelphia series. We'll be switching for live reports from that. There's the breakdown. Elvin Hayes, the big forward. Kevin Greevy, the sharpshooter out of Kentucky, the small forward for Washington. Unseld, the big undersung center who's so very, very important to the fast break attack of Washington. Tom Henderson and Phil Chenier in the backcourt. The Cavaliers will go with Jim Brewer as their power forward. Campy Russell up front with him along with Jim Jones. Walker starting for Clemens in the back line along with Austin Carr. Carr, a great shooter who has not hit well in this series. In fact, neither team has really shot well. The Cavaliers have shooting percentages of 39% and 41% in the first two games. The officials for today's game, Earl Strom and Paul Campbell, and we are ready to go, and the crowd is jacked up even before the opening tip-off. Jones going up against Hayes, the Bullets in the white uniforms. The Big E tips it over to Unseld, and here is Henderson going to the basket early. Lane was open, and Henderson puts up the first points of the game.
Well, he found the lane wide open. He saw it. He took advantage of the lapse of defense on Cleveland. Easy field goal.
Jones with the long shoot, and he's got it tied up for Cleveland. Jim Jones, one of the best outside shooting big men in the NBA. He wants to bring Elvin Hayes away from that basket. So Jones will play inside and out. Greevy takes a look inside as again Henderson goes down low. Wesley Unseld with that very quick overhead pass. Chenier puts it up off the run. And there's a foul call on the play against Austin Carr of the Cavaliers.
Austin Carr got caught that time on defense. He should have blocked off the baseline, which he did not do. Phil Chenier took advantage of it, and Austin Clark committed the foul. Interesting matchup on defense. Now we got Jones against Hayes, and we got Jim Brewer against Wes Unseld. Now Wes Unseld will not score an awful lot, so it puts an awful lot of pressure on Jim Jones on offense and defense in playing Elvin Hayes.
Phil Chenier, who averaged 20.2 points a game for Washington, an 84% free throw shooter, and hitting those two, he gives the Bullets a 4-2 lead. Right to the hoop goes the little man, Butch Walker, and there's the outlet pass, gunned out to Henderson. Henderson, a backcourt player out of New York City and the University of Hawaii, came here in a midseason trade from Atlanta. Elvin Hayes knocks it down. The Bullets come out firing.
That's the one thing you don't want Elvin Hayes to do early in a ball game is score his first 2 or 3 field goals, because he'll gain a lot of confidence and can walk with the ball whenever he has the opportunity to do so.
Austin Carr, a great outside shooter, heads to the basket, gets it off to Jones, and Jim Jones darts the ball in again over the outstretched hands of Elvin Hayes, who came from off the play trying to block it. 6-4, Jones has all 4 Cleveland points. Chenier trying to post Austin Carlo, and Chenier, spectacular shooting to open the game.
Washington shooting very well at the outset, and that's what Cleveland doesn't want to happen. They don't want Washington to get hot, gain the confidence, and pull off to a big lead.
They'll be switching to that Boston-Philadelphia game throughout the afternoon as Austin Carr goes to the basket. And Austin Carr is called for the personal foul. Charging foul against Austin Carr.
Good defensive play by Wes Unseld. Now you'll watch this on the replay. Wes Unseld will station himself right in the driving lane, never moved. Good call. Good play by Wes Unseld.
Greavy takes a look inside. Again, they go low to Chenier. Whips it out to Tom Henderson, and Henderson has it. And Washington is firing.
Washington shooting very, very well. Phil Chenier looking for the open man, finding Tom Henderson, and a good pop shot.
Butch Walker controlling the offense in the absence of Clemens, who normally quarterbacks the team. Austin Carr moves in on Greavy and arcs it in. And it's a 10-6 game. The soft shot of Austin Carr, a man who has 2 personal fouls now, makes it a 10-6 game, Washington. Elvin Hayes searches out the open man underneath. There is none as Cleveland is dropping off. They're playing close to the boards. Jones is not coming out. Chenier moving on Carr. Bill Chenier can't get it to go this time. In and out, and Brewer takes it down. Up court to Walker, right on by Henderson. And Butch Walker throws the ball. It'll be inbounds to Cleveland. It last touch Henderson.
And Henderson didn't want to touch it. He wanted to catch it instead. Of course, he just picked his finger. Cleveland gets a break on the turnover.
Washington has beaten Cleveland in 4 of 6 games this season, including the present playoff series. As you know, they're even at 1 game apiece, the best of 3. This is the decider today. The victor goes on against the Central Division champion in best of 7 play, the Houston Rockets. That series will open Tuesday night in Houston. Jim Brewer fires. Can't get it to go through the brick up. Outlet pass to Henderson. Driving on Brewer. Spectacular play by Tom Henderson. Spectacular drive. 12-6, and Cleveland wants a timeout.
Boy, you saw a spectacular circus shot by Tom Henderson. Watch this off balance with great control. Up he goes. I don't know how he got it off, but he did.
No American car has ever had EPA mileage ratings as high as this car.
Where's Elm Street?
The new Chevy Chevette.
Want to buy some homemade cookies?
43 miles per gallon highway, 31 miles per gallon city.
Where are your restrooms?
Chevy Chevette, America's modern gas mileage champ.
Just want to use your payphone.
It'll drive you happy, unless you own a gas station.
And it's another homer for Johnny Bench.
I've always believed you should do the best you can. That's why I feel good about recommending Batter Up to the parents of little leaguers. It's the best kind of batting practice for youngsters. It improves timing and helps develop a level swing. My name's on Batter Up, and I believe in it. I won't promise it'll make your youngster a big leaguer, but you never know.
Batter Up by Fonus, the good sports.
CBS Sports presents Farrah Fawcett Majors taking the court against Bill Cosby. Ed Asner and his coach Bob Reiner at the marathon race. And Penny Marshall versus Robert Conrad on the obstacle course. Just a few of the stars on the high-spirited special Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes, Sunday at 8, 7 Central Time.
The Washington Bullet Guards have scored 10 of their first 12 points this game. Tom Henderson has 6 points. As you see, Dick Mallon and Bill Fitz, the opposing coaches. Fitz Walker going one-on-one with Henderson. He's trying to find a man to hit underneath. They go to Austin Carr, looking to move on Chenier. Unseld picking him up on the switch off. Nice shot by Carr. Not quite enough there. Jones takes it down off the offensive board, forces a shot. Threw the air ball up.
Bad choice of shots by Jim Jones. That's uncontrolled basketball. You should look for the open man and start to play again.
Henderson again rockets to the basket, and he draws the shooting foul.
Well, he has brought a dimension to Washington, which they didn't have before the trade. There he goes with that tremendous driving power, using the backboard, this time missing. But what he does is create situations when you penetrate.
Henderson now with 7 points, and Washington has a 13-6 lead. (14-6) game, an 8-point advantage now for the Washington Bullets on their home floor. We have 8 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the first quarter. Of this deciding game, the loser is out. Austin Carr loses the basketball and picks it up inside to Jones against Unseld, and Phil Chenier ties him up. Might be a foul from behind.
Yeah, for a moment there, it looked like a jump ball was going to be called, but there was a foul from behind. Cleveland will get the ball right back inbounds again.
Austin Carr against Chenier. They're working against each other very hard on offense. Carr, who's only shot 27% in the series, can't get it to go again. And Elvin Hayes sweeps it off the defensive board.
Washington right now forcing Cleveland outside, as we said at the top of the show. Now they're going to force them outside, cut off the penetrating lanes. And in that case, Cleveland has got to hit their jumpers, because if they don't, there's no way they can beat Washington. Got to get some ball movement without the ball, too.
14-6. Again, Cleveland can't get it to go. Elvin Hayes takes it down, and he was fouled. Loose ball foul.
That's his second, it's his third team foul.
We'll take a look on the follow-up on the replay now. The ball will come off. There's Fitz Walker banging up against Elvin Hayes. Loose ball foul, and here we go with Washington in command.
Big E likes to put it up with his back to the basket. Tapped up by Greavy and tipped outside, and it comes inbounds to Cleveland. Out comes into Washington. We had a little
mix-up on the officials that time, Don. But notice how Washington now is getting the ball inside, down low, whatever they possibly can.
Elvin Hayes takes a look inside. Shooting against Jim Jones. The Big E gets him to drop. And now Washington has opened up a 10-point first quarter lead at 16-6. 4 points for Elvin Hayes. Cleveland taking bad shots, and it's costing them dearly. The Cavaliers forcing bad shots, and Washington getting the ball after the first miss. Elvin Hayes fires. Big E on fire.
I would suspect that Phil Fitz has got to make some kind of an offensive change in his pattern, because Cleveland is doing no penetrating, a poor selection of shots, and doing a lot of standing around on offense.
Jim Brewer draws the foul.
Personal fouls on Unseld.
Unseld draws the personal. That's his second. Austin Carr has 2 for Cleveland. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It is an 18-6 game. Washington in command at this point. Walker having trouble. Bullets doing a big job of zoning off the inside. Carr gets to the ball before Phil Chenier. Down low to Walker. Look at the outlet pass by Unseld. Kevin Greavy almost blew it.
Kevin Greavy took second thoughts about possibly bunking that ball and almost blew it. Now Bill Fitz is going to call a timeout and get his forces together, because he's about to get blown out here. He's down by 14 and needs some consultation.
Honda's always before-stroke motorcycles, and way out here, that's important. Going strong now. For dependable, economical, four-stroke motorcycles, Honda's #1. Moving right along. Honda keeps you going strong, no matter where you're going. Going strong now, moving right along. When you're on a Honda, you're really going strong. Really going strong.
You're the guy that sells Delco Big D shock absorbers?
Right.
Good. I got big problems. Everyone's complaining. I need big shocks for the entire circus. Can you do it?
Well...
Good. We'll help.
AC Delco has extra capacity Delco Big D shocks for just about anything, from small cars to light trucks, plus Big D heavy duty and air shock systems for the really big jobs. AC Delco has Big D shocks for everything on the road.
Well, almost everything.
We played great as a team.
I operated the offense.
And I directed the defense.
And now we both drink light beer from Miller.
Not just because it tastes great, but also because it's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. It's less filling.
Hey, bartender, 2 more lights here. What's it all mean, Casey?
Simple, Sam.
If you want to keep up with the Joneses,
you better drink light beer.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Paul Taylor, dead for 2 minutes. Now the dead compel him to return to protect the living from the unexpected, the strange, the terrifying. For the first time on television, the world of the dead, the world of darkness. Sunday at 10, 9 Central.
Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph back at Landover, Maryland. The Washington Bullets have run off 10 straight points. They've hit 8 of 11 field goals in the first quarter. Cleveland's not scored in over 3.5 minutes. And it's a 20-6 game at this point. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Jim Jones takes a look, gets it out to Walker. Now Cleveland's bringing its offense down a lot lower. They've got to get the ball in low. Here's Austin Carr feeding off. Jones gets a free shot. Not enough there. Carr with a rebound, puts it back up. And again, Austin Carr cannot get it to go, and here's a foul call on Campy Russell.
We're going to have a backcourt foul against Campy Russell, and Elvin Hayes is going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots. Again, Cleveland really not taking advantage of the great shooting potential that they have, missing a lot of open shots, but being forced outside by Washington. And there you see the foul against Campy Russell, with Elvin Hayes in a backcourt situation will attempt 2 free throws.
Boston and Philadelphia opening the best-of-7 semifinal series, and the 76ers on their home floor, the big lead in the first quarter, 10 points. 24-14 as you see. It is now 21-6. Washington is blowing Cleveland out here in the first quarter. Ball picked up by Walker. He's got to start putting the ball up when he gets inside rather than feeding outside for long shots.
Washington right now is collapsing totally on defense and just breaking off the driving lanes. Cleveland, Jim Jones that time even forced to drive. Luckily to be fouled.
And Cleveland finally gets a point after going dry for almost 4.5 minutes. Jones has 6 points. Cleveland has only shot 4 of 17 in the first quarter. 4 of 17. Kevin Greavy takes a look. Inside now, Unseld goes to Greavy, and Greavy gets it to roll. Former #1 draft choice out of Kentucky. You may recall the 34 points he put in an NCAA championship game. Walker feeds off Austin Carr with Chenier against him, and Austin Carr takes it inside. Offensive rebound to Russell, and a foul on Phil Chenier.
We had 2 good plays that time. Kevin Greavy broke off the driving lane, and now you'll see the rebound coming up. Another foul by Phil Chenier. Cleveland back in play again.
Walker controlling the ball on the outside. Anderson with a 3-inch height advantage over him, staying very tight on him. Now Jim Brewer turns around and fires it down. And so Cleveland gets a field goal, so very much needed. It is a 23-10 game. First points of the ball game for Jim Brewer. Henderson takes a look. He's been so tough. 7 points so far. Brewer, defensive board, gives it to Walker. weaving on by those Washington Bullets. Guns it inside. Too much on it for Austin Carr. He's tied up. They'll jump it up at the Cleveland free throw line.
Quincy Walker committed himself that time, almost caused a turnover. Luckily, they're going to go into a jump ball situation. What Cleveland can't do here, Don, is panic. Now, they're down. Of course, they're down by 13, but you can score in bunches here in the NBA. So what they've got to do is get back to the pattern, start the penetration, get the ball down low, and just don't take bad shots. And they'll get back in the game very easily.
Russell takes his favorite shot, the outside jumper. Very lively rim. That kicked it right over the top of the backboard. As now some substitutes come into the game for Cleveland. Gary Brokaw comes in, and Bingo Smith comes in. As Campy Russell sits down, and so does Foots Walker. We have 3:55 to play in the first quarter. Now, Washington cools off a bit. Bingo Smith gets it out to Austin Carr. To Jim Brewer. Almost nothing at all has been put up inside by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jim Jones just hit 2 points here at the Landover, Maryland Arena. We'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching Boston at Philadelphia. That's how it stands right now. Washington is leading Cleveland 23-12 with 3:20 to play in the first quarter. The Bullets have been shooting spectacularly. That was Phil Chenier. The Bullets are in the white uniforms. Cleveland with the ball in the gold and maroon. Cleveland has had a great deal of difficulty getting the ball inside. They've been taking outside shots for the most part. 4 shots like that one that missed everything by Jim Brewer. Washington has been command of this game.
That's exactly what happened. You saw another bad shot by Cleveland. They just cannot get the ball down low. When they get the ball down low, they have a chance to score. Washington has been successful in doing so.
2:50 to play in the first quarter. Chenier puts it up off the run. 27-12 is the score. Two and a half minutes to go in the first quarter now as Gary Brokaw looks to go inside. Henderson against him, and Brokaw puts it up and gets it to go.
That's what they need when they get down low. Gary Brokaw penetrating the lane. Good percentage shot. When you got layups going, that's good percentage shooting.
Steal by Bingo Smith. 3-on-1 break. Henderson's the lone defender.
Oh, no. Now there's a bad play, Don, that turns into a possible three-point play with Bingo Smith on a 3-on-1 break, taking the jumper from 12 feet. A very, very poor selection of shots.
3-on-1 break, and he threw a jumper up. We'll watch that again.
Now there you see 2 men on the right wing. Bingo Smith taking the jumper, and fortunately, the rebound was made by Cleveland. Elvin Hayes in total disagreement with the foul. So a bad play turns into a possible three-point play. But Cleveland has got to play under a lot more control than you saw in the last play.
Jim Brewer, who tapped it in, was fouled by Elvin Hayes. Well, Cleveland starts to get a break here and there. And now they have a 10-point deficit to make up. It is a 27-17 game. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
2 minutes left in the quarter.
Henderson takes a look at Brokaw. Now we're going to update Boston at Philadelphia as we switch to Brent Musburger.
Welcome to those of you watching Cleveland, Washington. The Boston Celtics with the ball are behind the Philadelphia 76ers right now with 1:20 left in the first. Hundo have the check up off the rim. And back come the 76ers, only they have retained possession, hit last by Boston. Referee Richie Jackson working this game with Joe Crawford. And it's Henry Bibby, 14 in the backcourt with Doug Collins and Gene Shue, the Philadelphia coach. And Billy, the 76ers have played some kind of defensive game so far.
Beautifully.
Inside for the Doctor. 4 points already. Against Saunders, make it 6.
I think that's the X on the floor where Collins and Irving and McGinnis have been going to post up. Every one of them, their plays are designed to get them free and get them in position down low.
This is game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinal, and that's where the Celtics have been shooting from. Saunders hit that one, but they have been missing from that point. We come down toward 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Irving fires up a miss, and it's 28-26ers. Point play by Steve Mix. Saunders, 2 fouls in a hurry.
Just hit a long outside shot. He has 12 points. 27-21 with 1:09 left to play in the first quarter. This is Don Crispy with Mendy Rudolph at Landover, Maryland, and Unseld works inside for his first point.
Now that's the first 2 points that Washington has scored after Cleveland ran off 9 straight. And as you said, they're back in the ball game with good controlled offense now and tight defense by double teaming the ball down in the Washington offensive zone.
Big, powerful Elvin Hayes takes down the defensive board. Greavy looks to go to the basket on Bingo Smith. And Jim Jones, 6'11", takes the defense down, rebound, gives it to Brokaw.
And let's see if Cleveland goes into Elvin Hayes, the man he's playing, because Elvin Hayes has picked up his 3rd personal foul, which could be a big turnaround in this game. Let's look for Jim Jones to get the ball.
He has 12 points so far, and that's just what they're doing as Brokaw gets it down low to Jones against Elvin Hayes. Larson, a long one, could not get that one to go as Greavy comes back the other way for the Washington Bullets. Inside, 5 seconds to go now in the first quarter as Austin Carr pulls up. Carr has been so cold. 1 second left, and Cleveland will inbound the ball with 1 second left in the first quarter, 29-21 the score.
Austin Carr has had his opportunities, and had he hit a couple of those shots, Cleveland would have been right in this game. Not that they're out of it, they're only down by 8, but Austin Carr is a big key to the Cleveland offense.
So that is the end of the first quarter as the Cleveland Cavaliers rally back. 29-21, Washington in the lead. Will be back in a moment.
Mr. Suntek O will now show you the powerful Cobra Punch.
Yeah! Punch through with a Cobra CB and be heard loud and clear. Handsome exterior belies powerful interior that consistently covers much distance because Cobra made to deliver a powerful punch. Also, made to take punch.
Punch through loud and clear with a Cobra.
Hi. I don't drive that way out on the streets, and please don't you either. You know the old gray ghost here? Well, inside she runs like a top. That's why the folks at STP hired me, because they know I take good care of my own cars, including my new family wagon here, and I use STP oil treatment in all of them. They want me to tell you why? I'll tell you why. On account of it works. And that's the name of that tune.
Basketball may seem as simple as throwing a ball through a hoop, but it takes a lot of know-how to keep making those shots game after game. I'm Doug Collins with Philadelphia 76ers. It takes know-how to stay healthy, too, and your American Heart Association leads the league in helping all hearts, young and old. You can do your part by helping the American Heart Association with a generous contribution. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. Well, we're set now for the start of the second quarter. Washington, after ripping open a 15-point first quarter lead, has an 8-point advantage now, as you see Elvin Hayes breaking the huddle. The 3 personal fouls could be very much effective. Of course, you get 6 before you're through in the NBA. Actually, you get 5 on the 6th combined.
It's bye-bye, baby, right. Elmore Smith is in the game now, which will give Cleveland a little bit more rebounding power. Elvin Hayes is still in the game with 3 fouls, and we'll have to look for Cleveland now to get into the man that is playing Elvin Hayes, or Elvin Hayes is switching around on defense to see if he can pick up that 4th.
Gary Brokaw and Austin Carr working in the backcourt. Now Elmore Smith down low as Jones comes outside. Ball was tipped away, and here comes Henderson back the other way now with it for Washington. He started off the game with a bang, took the first play and right to the basket for a lay-in shot. And that started Washington off. Elvin Hayes lifts it up, and there's a foul on the play against Cleveland, and Elvin Hayes will go to the free throw line for Washington.
There's the double teaming that we talked about. Jim Jones had Elvin Hayes with good position, and coming from the outside was Gary Brokaw. Now you watch the foul into your picture. There it is on the hands as the ball was released, and Elvin Hayes going to the free throw line for 2 shots. They're going to have to double team Elvin Hayes because he's such a tremendous potential offensive force.
He now has 9 points. In the first quarter, Cleveland hit only 8 of 25 shots, 32%. Washington, conversely, hit 12 of 21, 57%. Elvin Hayes at the free throw line comes into the game with almost 18,000 career points during his 9 seasons in the NBA. He's averaging 23-8 a game. As there's a foul call, this one will go against Washington.
Gary Brokaw at the free throw line for 2 shots. And now that's what Cleveland needs. Inside, get the ball down low. First quarter field goal percentage, as you say, Don, 57% for Washington and only 32% for Cleveland, which is, as we said, forced Cleveland outside shooting with not very good selection of shots, missing an awful lot of shots in that first quarter.
Gary Brokaw missing both free throws. 30-21 Washington, and the Bullets have the ball early in the second quarter. Kevin Greavy looks to put it up as Cleveland collapses on him. Cleveland teaming up in the basketball better now than they did in the first quarter. Henderson pump faking. Tipped around, and down with the ball is Elvin Hayes, right back up. And Jones gracefully takes it down. Here's Bingo Smith, 3-on-3 break. Bingo Smith takes it inside. Elmore Smith touched it over the top.
Elmore got up there so high, he really didn't know what to do. He reacted slowly, tried to get the ball and possibly stuff it back in, but in so doing, he touched it while it was above the ring, and of course, that's an offensive goaltending play.
10 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first half. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been down by as many as 15 points. Rallied back to it in 6. Now Elmore Smith comes up with the ball. To Brokaw, Henderson trailing him.
There's Cleveland again, Don, with that outside shooting. I don't know why they don't hold up and start penetrating to the hoop and set something up. Nobody in position that time to rebound in case they miss.
Greavy firing. Gets it to go down. A left-hand jump shot with a lot of defensive pressure by Bingo Smith. And now, Bill Fitch is looking to his bench to send in one of his best sharpshooters. Dick Snyder's coming in. And now, Bullets will counter with Bob White. Elmore Smith against Elvin Hayes. Unseld. Loop in the outlet pass to Greavy as Hayes is breaking down the left flank. Henderson puts his head down and heads to the hoop.
Boy, he saw Elmore Smith going for the ball. And on his last step, he just angled away from him. Used the board extremely well with English and just banked the ball on in. A great play by Tom Henderson.
And he now has 10 points for Washington. Cleveland, horrendous shooting, just awful. And Washington ripping it up the other way, and now it's again a 15-point Washington lead, and Cleveland calls a timeout.
And Bill Fitch is going to call a timeout and be certain that they turn around their defensive stuff, their offensive stuff, and get back in this game.
I'd like you to meet the Landon family at home. I took their pictures with my little Kodak Tele-Instamatic 608 camera. You know, it's like having 2 cameras in one pocket because it takes big, colorful pictures 2 ways. Telephoto and normal. Look, here's my wife Lynn and daughter Shauna, normal, and Shauna, telephoto. Here's Mike Jr., Christopher, Leslie, and Shauna, normal, and Christopher, telephoto. Make the most of the times of your life. Own your own Kodak Tele-Instamatic camera.
You're the pro, George. I need some new tires. What kind should I get? You're holding the answer in your hand. X-Fly tires? Turn it around, Frank. Dunlop. Dunlop tires, of course. Sure, Dunlop's one of the largest tire manufacturers in the world. That means a lot of people are putting a lot of trust in Dunlop on the road.
When you want to get more out of your drive, see a pro. That's me. See your Dunlop Pro. If you like us on the fairway, you'll love us on the freeway.
With an ordinary credit card, we're going to prove that Edge lets you shave closer than the leading foam. First, listen to an unshaven face. Now we'll shave the left side with foam, the right with Edge. Edge lubricates as it lathers so we can press harder to shave closer than foam. Now listen to the foam side. Then listen to the Edge side. Foam, Edge. Edge lets you shave closer than the leading foam.
Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents live the World Full Contact Karate Championships with Superfoot Bill Wallace defending his title. And the Super Bowl of Motocross, the biggest motocross event in the world. And we'll have the Human Fly, attempting to stand atop a jetliner while in flight. and the finals of the CBS Virginia Beach Classic. That's next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
We're back and ready to go as you see big Mitch Kupchak, the #1 draft choice out of North Carolina, who's had such a great rookie season for Washington. Averaging over 10 points a game, but he gives them so much in every dimension. He's matched up against John Lambert, who's in the game for Cleveland. Brokaw to Snyder. Up front we have Lambert, Elmore, Smith, and Campy Russell back in. He's called for a travel as Bill Fitch rears back in his chair, throws his hands in the air. Nothing is going right for the Cavaliers. 20 points out of the Washington back line, only 4 from the Cleveland backcourt. A 16-point differential in guard scoring in this game. We have 9 minutes to go in the first half. Elmore Smith takes down the wrist Kupchak shot and gets the ball out to Gary Brokaw. Campy Russell puts Chenier in the air with a fake, then goes to Elmore Smith, and there'll be a foul on Bob White.
Good foul by Bobby Weiss. Had he not fouled, Elmore Smith, he'd have gone all the way to the hoop and had a stub shot. You'll watch this great pass. Here it comes. Into Smith. Good foul. There it is.
Yeah.
Easy field goal coming up had he not been fouled.
Dick Snyder down low to Elmore Smith.
Yeah, Johnny.
Tapped up and in by John Lambert.
Lambert with good offensive rebounding position. Great spot to just tap the ball right back up. Nobody boxed him out on that play.
Greavy comes across the top and fires from 25 feet out, and there's a foul on the play. Campy Russell knocked him down, and Greavy will shoot. 36-23, Washington's in the lead. There's a chance to go up by 15 again as Greavy has 2 shots. Looking for his 7th point right now. They're the leading scorers. In the backcourt.
Unbelievable. 20 points to 4 points. That's been the difference. That's been the difference of this game. The Cleveland backcourt has failed to score, and they have had open shots. Poor selection of shots, but they've been open.
And again, the Bullets have the 15-point lead as Brokaw shoots up against Weiss. Foul on Bob Weiss.
Bobby Weiss and Dick Motta not too happy with that call. He felt that Bobby Weiss had all ball when Gary Brokaw went up, and Motta is on Paul Campbell, the young rookie official, but it's going to do him no good. Brokaw will still attempt 2 free throws.
He missed his last 2. Now he gets this one. Brokaw putting more arc on his shots. That's one of the things the Cleveland guards have not been doing. Austin Carr doesn't seem to have his usual height on the ball. Brokaw.
And it's got a little rough out there between Lambert and Phil Chenier. And Lambert is all over Strom right now. Real vicious on the ground. Dick Motta is complaining. The game right now has got to be pulled tightly together. Strom has gone over to Motta to sit him down. He also told Fitz to sit down and let him control the ball game.
You got to keep these under control because they can blow up in a hurry.
Absolutely. All it takes is 1 or 2 incidents, and it's gone, baby, and it takes a long time to get it back.
You've been there. Leonard Graves comes into the game and throws something in. And it's a 40-24 game. Washington with a 16-point lead. 7:40 to play in the first half. Dick Snyder dancing and faking and getting the shot away. There'll be a foul call on Chenier.
Dick Snyder that time used Phil Chenier very, very well. He knew he had him up in the air, and this time he shot perfectly so that when Phil Chenier would come down into the plane of his shooting arc, he would cause the foul.
2 shots.
Cleveland seems to have lost their confidence right now. There's nobody out there with a hot hand, nobody that they can go to on a steady basis, and that's what's causing the problem out there.
Here's a show you'll enjoy tonight at 8 o'clock. Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. You'll see people like Farrah Fawcett Majors, Phyllis George, Gabe Kaplan, Red Fox, Elliot Gould, and Bill Cosby tonight at 8 on CBS. This game is getting very tough out there.
We had a little confrontation this time between Kupchak and Elmore Smith. Let's listen.
25 and 3, loose ball foul.
Double foul on Kupchak and Elmore Smith.
Something you very rarely see. 2 men usually pick out one to make the call. But in this particular time of the game, there was no one real guilty power. A lot of physical contact out there right now.
John Lambert steals the ball for the Cavaliers. Gets it up to Brokaw. Cleveland running down 5 men on the attack. As Brokaw dances with the ball out to Lambert. Cleveland cannot shoot. Throwing up bricks. All got their Mason's card today. Elmore Smith takes it down. Cleveland comes right back with a chance to get points, but they just can't get the ball in the hole. Awful. Poor shot selection. In the second period, that's how it stands in Philadelphia. The 76ers up on the Celtics by 10 points. Kupchak with Lambert all over him. Gets it to Chenier. Lambert playing a very aggressive game for Cleveland. Weiss comes up with the ball. Inbounds to Washington, and now the Bullets want a timeout.
We're going to have a timeout that is sorely needed by Cleveland. They find themselves down by 15. They're not playing very, very well, and Bill Fisher just got to get them together.
Want to lift America? Climb into a 77 Camaro. Camaro is a driver's car, low in profile and wide between the wheels. A spirited, responsive road car that feels as good as it looks. A lift America, not just a ride. Sample it yourself. Test drive a spirited 77 Camaro at your Chevrolet dealers now.
Bernie's been leaving the house with a smile ever since he started getting stroked in the morning.
I've never been stroked quite like this before.
The new Bic shaver is so responsive, it turns shaving into stroking. That's because it's so light and maneuverable. What's more, the Bic shaver is cheaper than blades. It's a stroke of genius.
Looking good, Bernie. Well, I really got stroked this morning.
The new Bic shaver. Lots of great shaves, then on to the next. It's the stroke of genius.
For my money, a lawnmower has to work year-round, like my Toro Grassmaster. I use the rear bag to pick up clippings in the spring. In the summer, I remove the bag, and the Grassmaster lets me mulch. In the fall, it even picks up leaves. And it does all this season after season after season.
Haven't you done without a Toro long enough?
This Friday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports will present NBA playoff action, followed on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. by a playoff doubleheader. That's NBA playoff action Friday night at 11:30 and a doubleheader on Sunday, tipping off at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Now let's go to Philadelphia and Brent Musburger and Billy Cunningham.
Welcome to those of you watching Cleveland, Washington. There's the situation here as Charlie Scott makes it an 8-point Philadelphia lead with 6 minutes and 33 seconds to go until the half. The story has been rebounding. The 76ers 24, the Celtics 15. And remember, the Celtics out-rebounded San Antonio in the miniseries. Lloyd free inside. Also, JoJo White on the Celtic bench with 4 fouls in the first half.
That situation was caused because of lack of communication between the two Celtics. As we'll see here, both players switched out. John committed himself, and there's Lloyd free for the easy 2.
Another stat. Only 2 points for Charlie Scott, and free goes in and uses the glass.
You see what the absence of Dave Cowens does to the Celtics. Now you see the 76ers taking it all the way to the basket, penetrating and getting the easy shots or being on the offensive boards. Lloyd free, legs going one way, body the other.
So we've got 5:54 to go in the first half. It's the Sixers 47, the Celtics 35.
We have 5:50 to go in the first half now as Cleveland comes on the run out of the game since the first quarter, gets it inside to Elmore Smith, and it's a 42-29 game. Cleveland comes back to it in 13.
This game has really picked up in tempo and has picked up in physical contact with Elvin Hayes picking up his 4th foul on. He's on the bench right now, and let's see if Washington can adjust with him on the bench.
Dave Bing and Tom Henderson in the backcourt. Unseld, Kupchak, and Leonard Gray up front for Washington. As a foul call goes against Cleveland. In the game for the Cavaliers, Snyder and Walker up front. Campy Russell, John Lambert, and Elmore Smith. Here's Henderson at the free throw line. He scored 10 points.
Tom Henderson has done a great job of just controlling this Washington offense, and whenever he has the opportunity to do so, he will drive the lanes. He will cause things to happen, causing Cleveland to double team and looking for the open man, possibly on a pass off or going for the layup himself.
Kupchak, offensive rebound off the missed free throw, puts it up. Kupchak is called for an offensive foul.
Now there's a definite break for Cleveland. Lambert got caught in the air, and he came down, made a rookie mistake. But fortunately, Strom saw it the other way and gave Cleveland the ball.
Elmore Smith, Leonard Gray runs into him, and Elmore Smith puts up a line drive that Henderson takes back. Here come the Bullets with Dave Bing, yo-yoing the ball against Snyder. Extra step, he walked with the ball. Blue, we're going to call it good.
It looked as if the outside official was going to call a walk, but the ball was coming to the baseline, and Earl Strom picked it up. It gave Dave Bing the carry over, gave him right into a possible three-point play now.
Dave Bing is on the board, and it's a 46-29 game. 46-29. Washington is in the lead. We have 4 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the first half. Dick Snyder fires out of hope that falls down through that rainbow shot.
Boy, and I'll tell you, Lambert and Kupchak are really having a battle out there. They are just really bouncing off each other when they're getting in position to rebound. And if we can, we'll show you one of those replays because they're really having a lot of contact out there.
That was Kupchak getting his first points of the game. It's 48-31. Washington with its biggest lead, 17 points. Campy Russell put that up.
That personal call on Leonard Gray, his first.
I'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching the Boston-Philadelphia game. Here at Landover, Maryland, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the dark uniforms are behind, as you see, 48-31. With 4 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the first half. Cleveland continues with very poor field shooting. And the Cavaliers, with Campy Russell the free throw line getting 2 free throws, now come back 48-33. Both teams have been going to the bench often. Cleveland coach Bill Fitch trying to change the chemistry in his offense to get the ball inside and get some percentage shots. The Cavaliers have persisted in throwing up long, low percentage shots, and they've been missing them. Henderson's played a great game, the man who just hit that shot. Elvin Hayes is on the bench, however, for Washington. One unpositive development. And you see his personal foul problem. 5 personal fouls. 4 fouls, actually. That was an incorrect. 4 fouls on Elvin Hayes at this point. And we have Fritz Walker at the free throw line now for Cleveland. It's 50-33 Washington. Three 3 minutes and 58 seconds left to go in the first half. Tom Henderson checks the clock and brings the ball up the floor. 15-point advantage for the Washington Bullets in this deciding game of the best-of-3 series. Dave Bing forces a shot. Almost got it to go. And Campy Russell out-hustles Big Wesley Unseld to the basketball.
There's that fourth shot selection we talked about. There's no reason for Cleveland trying 20, 25-footers. If you're going to lose your poise, you're going to lose the ball game. Now, fortunately, Washington is in a penalty situation. Unseld will cause a foul on the rebound. But you watch now, Campy Russell shooting from at least 20, 22 feet and missing. Was Unseld on the rebound, causing the foul. Little Footsy Walker going to the free throw line.
Kupchak with the ball for Washington. Quickly up court to Dave Bing. Washington now winding the game clock down using the 24-second clock with a big lead. 50-36, Washington leads. Henderson threw it away, trying to go to Leonard Gray on the weak side.
Henderson had Gray wide open. It was a great pass. He led Leonard Gray a little bit, assuming he possibly would be going to the hoop. But Leonard Gray was flat-footed. Bad pass, bad reaction.
Dick Snyder falling away, knocks another one down. And it's 50-38. Cleveland's back to within 12. Henderson has 13 points for Washington. Hayes has 8. Greavy has 8. Chenier has 10. Gray has 4. Dave King, high arcing shot. Jones has 12 for Cleveland. Brewer has 5. Russell has just 2. Carr has but 2. Smith has 4. Brokaw 3. Snyder 3. Lambert 2. They better get the ball to Dick Snyder more.
You could see Cleveland look for Dick Snyder at that moment. He's had playoff experience. A great field goal percentage shooter, and they looked for him on that play.
We now have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half. 52-40. Washington up by 17 at one point, now leads by 12. Unseld gets the offensive rebound, loses the ball to Walker, but it's picked up by Gray. This guy could throw it in from over his head with his back to the basket and hit it, Henderson.
Well, I'll tell you, not only Henderson hit that shot, but Leonard Gray went to the backboard, knocked 2 Cleveland players on the floor. He was not going to be denied position. This game is extremely physical at this point.
15 points for Henderson of Washington. Again, Cleveland just gets one shot, and Washington comes off with the ball.
Everybody at this point in the game, Don, is giving someone a little bit of a push. They're just giving somebody out of their position 3 or 4 feet, so they're denying them position on the court, but a lot of physical contact out there.
Man, I'm thankful I've got this new air conditioner, the Carrier year-round one.
You mean this new heater, the year-round one?
Wrong, Francis. Carrier's year-round one is an air conditioner, and it's one of the best.
Roger, you've been out in the Texas sun too long, my boy. The year-round one's a heat pump, and it heats.
Francis, you've been scrambling out your helmet again. The year-round one cools efficiently. It's an air conditioner.
Roger, if the year-round one is an air conditioner, then how come it can save you up to 60% on your electric heating bill?
Fran, it's an air conditioner.
Roger, it's a heater.
Air conditioner.
Heater.
Turkey.
Introducing the Carrier year-round one, a heat pump air conditioner that cools in summer as efficiently as most air conditioners. Yet the Carrier year-round one can save you up to 60% on your electric heating costs.
Carrier's year-round one. It's an air conditioner
that heats.
See your Carrier dealer. He's in the yellow pages under air conditioning.
Dawn launch, Sea of Japan. The Navy. See a recruit or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
CBS Sports presents Farrah Fawcett Majors taking on Bill Cosby, Penny Marshall challenging Robert Conrad, Red Fox queuing up against Roz Kelly, Phyllis George versus O.J. Simpson. These stars and more in a high-spirited special, Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes, Sunday at 8, 7 Central Time.
Don Cricky with Mandy Rudolph back at Landover, Maryland. In the second quarter at Philadelphia Spectrum, the 76ers lead now has been cut to 8 by Boston. Those Celtics know something about the playoffs. The defending champions coming off a sweep of San Antonio in best-of-3 play. There's a problem with the net now. They're going to have to get a ladder out here and hook up that little strand of net that's dropping down.
That's causing the delay right now. All that is a little bit of a hook. They get the net and just bring it right back on there again. I don't think Earl Strom can reach it. They'll have to get somebody a lot taller than him. They're going to get a ball boy. I don't know whether he can reach it or not.
The head netminder.
No way. Now, there you go. Why don't one of the ball players climb up there and reach it? Or else get a taller ladder.
Now we have a taller chair and a taller ball boy.
No, inside.
Earl Strom is directing him.
He goes inside that hook. If you ever took a look at a ring, there's about 10 of them around there, and it just loops right back on in again.
That is pretty good. Leonard Gray went out in 6 minutes. That's a foul a minute.
I beat that one down. I fouled him out in warm-ups one day. While they were warming up. He's a very physical ball player.
Bill Chenier just twisted an ankle. Dick Snyder lost him. Tapped up, all around, and Unseld comes down with the ball, gets it up court to Henderson on the flank. Kupchak leads the break on the left side. Leonard Gray, Snyder's helped Cleveland a lot since he's come in. Kupchak fires. Rebound to Bingo Smith, and Unseld came over the top.
No, I don't think it was Unseld. I think it was Leonard Gray.
Going to catch Gray on it.
It was Leonard Gray on a loose ball foul. Now they're in a penalty situation. We'll watch the rebound now. Watch Leonard Gray, number 12, come in right in the middle of your picture, call the foul, and Bingo Smith will go to the free throw line.
20-second injury timeout, 12.
Bill Chenier being attended to now. He's twisted an ankle, trying to stay with Snyder as Snyder was working off a pick, and Chenier is okay. Apparently, he's going to stay in the game. Bingo Smith, who can shoot those ICBMs, those long jump shots. Washington fans remember them because he's beaten the Cavaliers, or beaten the Bullets in playoffs. Last second shots. 54-41, 16 to play in the first half. Bingo Smith has his first point of the game. They need point production from Bingo Smith. He's a 14-point-a-game scorer. Cleveland is back to within 12. They've trailed by as many as 17.
If they can keep Washington from scoring and possibly cut this lead down to 10 or 9, I would say that they're most fortunate because of the manner in which they played this first half. Just to cut it down to 10, they'd be very, very lucky.
Chenier fires, Kupchak rebounds. Offensive board for the big guy from Carolina. Rejected. And again, Washington comes down with the ball, and then they're called for a travel.
Well, Kupchak and Leonard Gray both had the ball, and they traveled with it. That's a good call by the officials. We have 53 seconds left. Let's see if they can score. Here's the replay. Now let's watch as he goes up. Watch Kupchak and Leonard Gray. They'll both grab the ball here now. And when they do, that's a walk. There it is, coming up right there.
Jim Jones throws in the most interesting-looking number. Now Leonard Gray's called for another foul. It's a 54-44 game, and Bingo Smith at the free throw line.
I'll tell you, Cleveland is extremely fortunate if they can get out of this half with an 8-point deficit or a 9-point deficit, somewhere under 10, because the way they played the first half and the way they shot, they could conceivably have been down on this game by 18 or 20 points.
No question. It's a 9-point game now. 3 points for Bingo Smith. Bill Chenier brings the ball inbounds to Henderson. 35 seconds left to go in the first half. Henderson looks down low to Kupchak. Now they're shutting that lane off better as Jones swings off to pick up the man with the ball. And Jones moves off that to get the rebound, but loses it, and Unseld gets it back. Great play by Henderson.
And there's the beauty of it. Tom Henderson, when he penetrates and controls the basketball, somebody picks him up, and he looks for the open man, and an easy field goal.
11-point lead now for Washington. Bingo Smith goes inside, gets the ball to Brewer, who lays it up and good. It's a 9-point game, Washington.
Jim Brewer.
And that is the end of the first half. As Dick Motta is out throwing verbal assaults at the referees. That is Earl Strom and Dick Motta.
Boy, they have a tough job out there. Motta is totally unhappy with Paul Campbell, the young official. It's not Strom that he was arguing with. Strom went in to move into Motta to protect Motta and Campbell from going nose to nose. As we see the score, Washington 56, Cleveland 47.
We'll return to Capitol Center after we hear from Red on Round Ball and a report from Jimmy the Greek in Philadelphia. That is coming up in just a moment.
Mr. Butkus and I have a problem. I do not appreciate American football.
And I don't appreciate rugby.
However, there is one thing we both appreciate. Light beer from Miller. Light contains a third less calories than their regular. It's also less filling.
But our favorite thing is the way it tastes.
Quite right, Dickie boy. I'll never like your football, but I do love your light beer.
Mike, I'll never like rugby, but I do love those cute little shorts.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. Now try and forget the 10th largest life insurance company in America, Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
This is Concours, a world-class luxury compact from Chevrolet, in Europe to show that an American luxury compact can challenge the highways of the world. Concours is an affordable car built for drivers who want compact maneuverability and passenger comfort, plus dependable Chevrolet engineering. Concours, built for Americans at home anywhere, a world-class luxury compact from Chevrolet.
Well, they went in. That's David Thompson of the Denver Nuggets, guarded by Brian Winters of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, David, in taking that shot, the man's hand was in your face. It didn't bother you. We're going to show the fans out there how similar it is to a simple little game. Now, I'm going to drop this bill, and I want you to catch it with your 2 fingers. Whoop, he didn't catch it. You know why he didn't catch it? Because actually it's impossible to catch it. You might do it luckily, you might guess, just like Brian Winters can guess and block a shot. He knows this. He knows that when he shoots, that ball is going to go up there before Brian can react. Take another one. Put your hand out there. Watch him watch his shoulders and his hand. All right, now take the ball, take a dribble at him. Now let's see him react. All right, now when you took that shot, when you took that jump shot, how do you take the jump shot?
Well, I made a move and a little body fake, and he reacted to my move by stepping back, and that left me open for the shot.
Now, when you take that shot, you go straight up. You don't worry about going into the guy or jumping backwards that he might block your shot. You go straight up, facing the basket, because that's your most comfortable position. Is that right?
Right, exactly.
All right, now, if he...
Well, what Cleveland is doing right now, they're picking the ball up a lot higher and playing a lot better, hard-nosed defense. Now you see it again.
Walker leads the break on the steal. But Walker gets it to go. It's a 2-point game with 4:56 left to play. A remarkable comeback by the Cavaliers as they're up saluting each other, and with good reason. They are back in the ball game as we head down the stretch. 4:55 to play, and they're down by but 2 points.
Harry, this Chevelle costs less than our little compact.
$38.85? And this is a mid-size Chevrolet.
See?
Huh? My compact costs more. Hey, look at this.
Hey, that's some price for a neat-looking mid-size.
Gee, I paid more for my compact.
So did I.
Me too.
Surprise America, the smart, complete midsize Chevelle. It's priced lower than 34 compacts.
$38.85, Harry. $38.85.
Homelight Sawbuck days are here. Buy any one of these rugged Homelight chainsaws right now and get this 15-buck woodcutter's kit absolutely free. This woodcutter's kit has everything you need to take care of your Homelight. Bar and chain oil, engine oil, gauge, file, grease gun, and lots more. You're in control with Homelight and the Homelight woodcutter's kit. It's free during Homelight Sawbuck days. Check Yellow Pages for your Homelight dealer.
Hi, I'm Tom Watson. You know, the right grip is the basic fundamental for a good golf game. And a firm grip in the road is basic to your driving safety. That's why I use Armstrong tires. They grip the road. And now, your local Armstrong dealer can offer you a great deal on this high-performance steel-belted radio. See them today and see for yourself. Armstrong tires. They grip the road.
Paul Taylor, dead for 2 minutes. Now the dead compel him to return to protect the living from the unexpected, the strange, the terrifying. for the first time on television. The World of the Dead, The World of Darkness. Sunday at 10, 9.
Life insurance company in America. Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
This is Concours, a world-class luxury compact from Chevrolet, in Europe to show that an American luxury compact can challenge the highways of the world. Concours is an affordable car built for drivers who want compact maneuverability and passenger comfort, plus dependable Chevrolet engineering. Concours. Built for Americans at home anywhere. A world-class luxury compact from Chevrolet.
Well, they went in. Now, that's David Thompson of the Denver Nuggets, guarded by Brian Winters of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, David, in taking that shot, the man's hand was in your face. It didn't bother you. We're going to show the fans out there how similar it is to a simple little game. Now, I'm going to drop this bill, and I want you to catch it with your two fingers. Whoop, he didn't catch it. You know why he didn't catch it? Because actually it's impossible to catch it. You might do it luckily, you might guess, just like Brian Winters can guess and block a shot. He knows this. He knows that when he shoots, that ball is going to go up there before Brian can react. Take another one. Put your hand down there. Watch him watch his shoulders and his hand. All right, now take the ball, take a dribble at him. Now let's see him react. All right, now when you took that shot, when you took that jump shot, how do you take the jump shot?
Well, I made a move and a little body fake, and he reacted to my move by stepping back, and that left me open for the shot.
Now, when you take that shot, you go straight up. You don't worry about going into the guy or jumping backwards that he might block your shot. You go straight up, facing the basket, because that's your most comfortable position. Is that right?
Right, exactly.
All right, now, if he does not react, you might fake him and go straight through from a guard position. Let's see that. Now watch this. He's going to fake the stop and the shot. He's going to go. There you are. Now what does that do? That keeps the guy honest, right?
Right.
Now he can't react. He doesn't know what you're going to do. All right, this time, take the dribble right at him, fake the shot, pump, and then take the shot. As many times as you want. Now, a good offensive man reacts from the moves of the defensive man. Now, this time, I want you to take the ball, go at him. I want you to jump in the air to block the shot on the jump shot. Now, make your move. Now, watch what he does this time. Now, what did you do? Just like he said a moment ago. He waited for Brian Winters to react, go in the air. He was in no hurry. You were in no hurry, right? While he's coming down, then you go up.
Right. I knew that he couldn't react to my jumping up before, I had a chance to make a really good shot.
Now, for you young players out there, one thing you've got to know. Don't be afraid for a guy to block your shot. For every one he blocks, if you do what David Thompson said and watch the defensive man, you score 10 baskets. So don't panic. And don't be afraid if a guy blocks your shot. Keep your poise. Keep your fingers on that ball. Get that backspin. And keep your body facing that basket. And those shots will go in.
Well, that's how it stands at the half here at Landover, Maryland. The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Don't miss Danny Kaye, Sandy Duncan, and Flip Wilson in a special musical production of Pinocchio tomorrow night on CBS.
Well, at the half, Washington, at one time a 17-point leader in the second quarter, goes to the locker room with a 9-point advantage over Cleveland, 56-47. Leading scorer in the game is Tom Henderson with 15 for Washington. Now let's join Brent Musburger and Jimmy the Greek Snyder in Philadelphia for the Greek Grapevine.
Take a close look at the fire in the Greeks' eyes on this Sunday afternoon playoff fever. Jimmy, when I arrived in Philadelphia, the rumor was Indiana would trade guard Don Buzzi to the 76ers for center Darryl Dawkins and guard Lloyd Free.
No way that it could happen, Brent. Now, there's no question about it that Buzzi's a great player, but there's no way that Pat Williams would give up Dawkins. Absolutely no way in any way.
What about the Golden State Warriors? They need a guard. Any possibility of them making a change?
Well, they're definitely, because that's where they've been getting killed this year, and they're a little disappointed in their guard situation, and they want a good playmaker. And I think they'll probably try to get that Birdsong kid from Houston University, but so will a few other teams.
Jimmy, you mentioned the draft. Milwaukee won the coin flip. Will they pick the Indiana center, Kent Benson?
Definitely, providing, of course, that Benson passes the doctor's examination.
Jimmy, I had an awful lot of phone calls from your friends down in Oklahoma last week, the Sooner football fans, and they said, what's the Greek talking about? The NCAA investigation, they're up in arms down there.
Well, they have to be up in arms, and I think Oklahoma's going to beat it because the thing that they are being criticized for by the NCAA is that there's been a little scalping going on by some of the kids with tickets. Now, they should beat that because so many of the other schools do it too. But that's what they're on the hot seat for, let's face it.
Now, let's make that clear. In other words, tickets that are given to the football players are being sold at scalpers' prices. Is that right?
That's it. But so many of the schools do it, so consequently, Oklahoma will probably get away with it.
Jimmy, you also mentioned Oklahoma State in that report last Sunday.
All I can tell you, Brent, is that Oklahoma State was going to have the truck thrown at them.
All right. Listen, speaking of the truck, it ran over Monty Clark in San Francisco. He's out with Joe Thomas. Let me ask you this. Who will Joe Thomas now hire as the 49er coach?
Well, there's so much press up there, and it's all negative towards Thomas and, and the new ownership, which I don't think is quite fair, because I love Monty Clark. I think he's a great coach, but I think he demanded too much, to stay. Who will Joe pick? Well, what would you do if you were Joe? I would pick a former assistant of mine who had been totally loyal to me. So we'll see who he does,
Now, what about Monty Clark's future? Where will he go?
Well, there's two places, I think, providing, of course, that they show poorly. If San Diego or Cleveland, whichever one breaks, poorly from the gate at the beginning of the season, that would be a good place for Monty Clark to go. But no matter where he goes, he will never get the authority that he's asking for.
Jimmy, later tonight on CBS is the Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. Interesting tennis match. Bill Cosby against Farrah Fawcett Majors. Do you have any numbers on that match?
Let me ask you one question. If you were playing Miss Fawcett, what would you do?
I'd watch her very closely and carefully.
And that means you would lose then, right? So will Cosby.
Beware of Greeks who talk about taped television shows. Have a nice week, and we'll see you next Sunday, Jimmy.
That's right.
Well, at the half, Washington is holding to a 9-point lead over Cleveland, 56-47. The shooting percentages certainly tell the story. Washington has hit 52% from the field. Cleveland has hit but 34% from the field. Now let's go to Brent Musburger and Billy Cunningham for an update on the Boston-Philadelphia game.
And welcome to everybody who has been watching Cleveland and Washington here in the Spectrum. We are getting ready to start the second half. I'm Brent Musburger with Billy C. And Billy C, 67-59, the 76ers. We've made the point that the Celtics still are right there.
Oh, they are. They did not what I would call play a Boston Celtic first half. I have the greatest admiration for that team. They played the same style when I started playing 12 years ago. one thing they haven't done, I don't think the guards have applied enough pressure on the guards of the 76ers at half court. They're allowing the guards to take the ball down low, get it into the man down low, and then they've been playing their one-on-one with Irving, McGinnis, and Lloyd Free. So they're going to have to put a little more pressure at that point.
You know, one of the statistics that everyone was concerned about from the Philadelphia side was offensive rebounds and rebounds in general. They thought the Celtics might eat them up, but it certainly has not been that way so far.
No, domination by the 76ers on both boards.
And, of course, JoJo White is out with those 4 fouls. So that's the situation here in Philadelphia. Let's go back to Don Criqui and Mindy Rudolph in Washington.
The Washington Bullets back on the floor, as are the Cleveland Cavaliers. In the first half, the leading scorer was Tom Henderson, scored 15 points for Washington. Kevin Greavy had 8, Elvin Hayes had 8, Unseld had but 2, Chenier had 10. Kupchak with 4, Leonard Gray with 4, Dave Bing scored 5. Leading scorer for Cleveland was Jim Jones. He had 14 points. And we'll be back with the second half tip-off in just a moment.
This is the first Saturday your father hasn't played golf since 1927.
Oh, Mom. I seem to marry this girl every 50 years.
Okay, you may now
Kiss
kiss
the ride.
The Minute, the Maker. It's Polaroid's new Minute Maker for beautiful color in just 60 seconds. And it's less than $25.
Hey, we still look pretty good.
The Minute, the Maker. It's new from Polaroid and it's less than $25.
Both cars should run out of gas at the same time, but one driver used Mobil 1 oil instead of ordinary oil. Mobil 1 reduces friction so well it can take the average car up to 10 extra miles per tank full. And that's why they're here and they're there. Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas.
When you cut your own firewood, a McCulloch chainsaw cuts costs good. McCulloch keeps America buzzing. McCulloch keeps you from going broke with all your money going up in smoke. McCulloch keeps America buzzing. Your McCulloch dealer ain't hard to find. Just let him know you made up your mind. So give your McCulloch dealer a buzz. He's in the yellow pages, cuz McCulloch keeps America buzzing.
Nothing equals the thrill of playing in the NBA. But for youth who never finish high school, there's another kind of thrill, earn another Pluma. I'm Elvin Hayes. Here, inner city youth learn self-respect and discipline while completing their education. Another example of United Way agencies working to give people a chance all year long. Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Polaroid's new Minute Maker, the instant camera for instant color. Mobil 1, a new synthesized engine lubricant, the oil that saves you gas. And by Allegheny Ludlam Industries. We make the special metals you live with every day.
There's our halftime statistics breakdown. You see the shooting percentages so very important. Rebounds, a big disparity there, too.
19 to 27. That shooting percentage is really most important because Cleveland has been forced outside by Washington, shooting bad selection of shots and not converting them. They have not had anybody out there right now consistent in looking for the open field goal like a Dick Snyder or an Austin Carr. Jim Jones has been their most consistent player, and even he has taken some bad shots. Cleveland very fortunate, as I said earlier, to be only 9 points down.
From a production standpoint, Campy Russell really hasn't been in the game. He is Cleveland's leading scorer, comes in with a 17-point-a-game average. He has only 2 points in the first half. He is 0 for 3 from the field, got the 2 points on free throws. So they've got to get scoring from a very explosive man, Campy Russell. You see how Washington, with Henderson leading the way in the backcourt, and Chenier 25 points from the starting guards. And, of course, Bing came in to score 5. And Cleveland has just not been able to get the percentage shooting from anybody, particularly from their backcourt.
If they start hitting from the outside, They're going to be right back into this ball game. Now, the opening minutes of the third quarter are going to be extremely important because if Cleveland can cut this down by 4 or 5 points immediately, we have a brand new ball game.
Butch Walker brings the ball down the floor, puts it up, can't get it to go. It was a good shot, good percentage shot, just couldn't hit it. Henderson drives. Right for the rebound, and Austin Carr takes it down. Up court he goes to Campy Russell. And Russell takes it all the way in, and an offensive foul is called on Russell of the Cavaliers.
Wes Unseld does that so well, he will block off the driving lane as we see on the replay. Wes Unseld just blocking it off. Campy Russell not trying to avoid him, challenging the officials, and of course we have an offensive foul.
And he has 3 personal fouls now, Campy Russell. Elvin Hayes in the game with 4 personal fouls for the Washington Bullets, and Elvin Hayes now has 10 points.
Prime example of the soft touch of Elvin Hayes, a shot that was destined not to be made. However, it took a good bounce. Nice soft butterfly, fell through.
58-47, 11-point lead for the Washington Bullets. Austin Carr tries to come across the lane. He was screened out by his own man, Russell, who was moving with him. Walker down low, gets it over to Jim Jones, and Jones hits the shot, and there's a foul on the play.
In an attempt now to block the shot, Phil Chenier caught Jim Jones on the elbow. Now look not so much at the ball when he releases. Footsy Walker will go up, pass it off to Jones. Don't look at the ball now. Look at Phil Chenier's hand, just catching it right on the elbow.
Jim Jones gets it to go. He has 17 points. Were it not for Jim Jones, the Cavaliers would be right back in Ohio. Unseld takes a look inside, goes to Kevin Greavy. He jumps into the defense, gets the shot to go, and there's a foul on Austin Carr on the play.
Well, I don't know how Kevin Greavy put that ball in, because he was hit, he was bumped. He had to use great hand control and great body control. Now let's watch this. Here's the left-hander going up, getting bumped on the way down by Austin Carr and using the backboard beautifully.
(61-50) as the Bullets open up another 11-point lead. They led by 9 at the half, led by 17 twice in the second quarter. Nice play by Austin Carr, gets it inside to Russell. A basket goes, and there's a foul on the play.
He said it so well. Great play by Austin Carr. He come outside looking for the 18-foot jumper, decided not to take it, saw the man underneath, who was Campy Russell. A beautiful feed and a great field goal.
Austin Carr from Mackin High School in Washington, where he was the #1 high school player in the country. Went on to 3 All-American years at Notre Dame, and then was the #1 player selected in the NBA draft by Cleveland in '71. Oh, a great assist inside. Brewer gets the ball to Walker. Walker puts it up and gets it to go, and all of a sudden we've got a basketball game. It's 61-55.
Footsy Walker went 1-on-1 against Phil Chenier and got him up in the air with an underhand scoop. Good play by the Footsy.
Elvin Hayes inside gets it up. The Big E has 12 points. It's 63-55. Cleveland is back in it after trailing by 17. This guy starts to shoot. Cleveland can go ahead. Carr feeds it out. Foul call. We'll watch Footsy Walker do his number again here. 9:46 left to go in the third quarter as Walker goes to the basket.
The Monzas, a little road magic from Chevrolet.
Monza by Chevrolet.
You have a choice, Chevy Monza Coupe or 2+2 hatchback. 2 different looks, 1 simple fact. Monzas are for people who think driving is still America's greatest outdoor sport.
Monza by Chevrolet.
Get a little road magic.
Monza by Chevrolet.
At Allegheny Ludlam Industries, we're in a very special business because we make and use special metals in a lot of different ways nobody else does. Like that Jacobson mower back there. It's made by one of our companies. And we make an electronic component for digital watches, too. We create a lot of different things you live with every day. All the way from this True Temper golf shaft to the stainless steel skin for this.
How do you spell relief?
When I
get acid indigestion, I spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For heartburn? R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids spells relief. In this test with Rolaids active ingredient, laboratory acid changes color to prove Rolaids consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. How do you spell relief?
For gas, I spell it R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids spells relief.
Paul Taylor, dead for 2 minutes. Now the dead compel him to return to protect the living from the unexpected, the strange, the terrifying. For the first time on television, the world of the dead, the world of darkness. Sunday at 10, 9 Central.
An Eastern semifinal series of the Spectrum in Philadelphia has the 76ers leading throughout. Had a much bigger lead at one point. 71-64 over the Celtics. That's the first game of that best of 7. This is the deciding game of a best of 3. And Cleveland has worked its way back into the ball game. Trailing now 63-55. Jones with a hope and the rebound, a little foot Walker. Came up with some sleight of hand.
Hit the rim. Get it down to 22. Right there.
The shot clock down to 22 seconds.
You heard all sound like the ball came off the ring. The timer forgot to reset the 24-second clock, but he caught it, and Quincy Walker put the ball back into play.
Walker matched against Henderson. Unseld is just playing right in the lane, almost a zone defense. Very much almost a zone defense.
Elvin Hayes caused Jim Jones to lay in the 3-second lane too long. He had a little hold on him, and Jimmy Jones couldn't get out. We have a turnover.
Now the Bullets following here at Landover comes alive, looking for Washington to get the offense going as they did in the first and second quarters. Kinnear goes to the basket, puts too much on it. Fights for the rebound down. It goes to Russell up court to Austin Carr ahead of the pack. He blows the layup. Brewer blocks the shot, but also fouls on the play, and Greavy will shoot.
Well, that layup that Austin Carr just blew has got to drive you absolutely crazy. They made a great play on the defensive board. Jimmy Jones, a great lead pass to Carr. Missed the layup. We possibly have a 4-point turnaround where Cleveland could have been down by 6. They'll possibly find themselves down by 10. A very big play here early in the third quarter.
Very important point, a 4-point swing, very possible, and that's what the case is as Greavy hits them both, and it is. Washington up by 10. Now Walker heads inside. Rebound to Elvin Hayes. Outlet to Henderson.
Let's remember that missed layup by Austin Carr. It took place with about 8.5 minutes to play. Whether Cleveland can recoup from something like that, because it is a very, very big emotional letdown when something like that occurs.
Jones comes right back and hits it for the Cavaliers. Jim Jones has now scored 19 points to lead Cleveland. 8:10 to play in the third quarter. 67-57 Washington as Henderson goes to the basket. Jones rebound. Outlet. Loop pass down to Jim Brewer. He's going to make sure of that one.
That was beautiful. The ball never went to the floor that time. 2 quick passes right down, and Jimmy Jones is cheering his Cleveland teammates on. Right now, he's the catalyst of the Cleveland offense. He's got this team moving.
Elvin Hayes with a fine shot. Back to the basket. You know he's usually going to put it up.
There's the double team that we talked about. There were 2 Cleveland men on Elvin Hayes that did no good, because once he gets in position, he'll turn around and throw up that jumper. A great offensive player.
Austin Carr comes back, can't get it to go, and here's a foul underneath. Greavy is called for a loose ball foul.
Another break for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They lost the rebound, and Quincy Walker put the ball back in the play again.
69-59, Washington is in the lead. We have 7:25 to play in the third quarter. Carr looking to get points up.
I'll tell you, Austin Carr is having a horrendous day. He's really doing everything poorly right now. He's jump shooting badly. He lost his concentration on the layup, just committed a turnover on an offensive foul. And he really needs, when I say he, Bill Fitch needs Austin Carr for some offense.
Brewer blocks the shot. Don't forget tonight at 8, Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Hollywood stars like Farrah Fawcett, Gabe Kaplan, as Greavy heads to the basket. What do we have here? A charging foul and a good call.
Good defensive play by Cappy Russell that time. He blocked off the baseline, causing the offensive foul. And again, Cleveland has a turnover, can get the game back to 8. They've got to get some consistency in scoring right now. They're sporadic, and they just can't put 2-3 field goals together.
Austin Carr can do nothing at all positive at this point. But they get the ball back, and Cappy Russell not going down.
I'll tell you, if Austin Carr starts to hit, Washington better be careful because he can hit the streaks right now. He's just doing nothing right. Lost his confidence completely.
Henderson shoots. Cappy Russell asserts himself on the defensive board. Here comes Carr and Walker. 8-point Washington lead. That'll go.
You know it, did you?
Had the right arc on it. Got the ball in the air.
He has been shooting a little bit low. That time he put more arc on the ball, and he found its range.
69-63. Elvin Hayes comes right back the other way, and he now has 16 points. The Big E hasn't had a lot of playing time in the game because of the 4 personal fouls. Missed almost all the second quarter. Carr takes a look inside, goes to Walker. Down low to Brewer. He'll go back to Carr. And here goes Austin Carr to the basket. And a foul is called on Washington. We're going to have a timeout as it is a 71-63 game, Washington.
Talk to 9 people about where to find a good radial tire, and you'll probably get 9 different answers. Well, here's one place you can count on. Sears. And this is Sears Guardsman Radial, priced from $29.88 for subcompacts to $49 for full-size cars. Guardsman. From compacts to Cadillacs, Sears' lowest-priced radial. And you know they're good. They're backed by Sears. Sears, for straight talk, good values, and satisfaction.
I always rely on my Lufkin measuring tape for really important projects. Because Lufkin has a patented bumper that helps to keep the tip from breaking off. And a positive lock that helps to keep the blade from slipping until you want it to. Lufkin is a good name to have around when you're measuring something really important. Right now, when you buy one of these Lufkin tapes, you get these crescent pliers free. Lufkin, one of the fine family of tools from Cooper Industries.
This is a cubic foot. There are 5 more of these inside the new Chevrolet than there are inside this year's older style full-size cars of Chevy's nearest sales competitor. That's based on U.S. government estimates of vehicle interior size as reported in the 1977 EPA Guide for New Car Buyers. The new Chevrolet with 5 more cubic feet of room. It stacks up beautifully. Now that's more like it.
Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents live the World Full Contact Karate Championships with Superfoot Bill Wallace defending his title. And the Super Bowl of Motocross, the biggest motocross event in the world. And we'll have the Human Fly, attempting to stand atop a jetliner while in flight. And the finals of the CBS Virginia Beach Classic. That's next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, now let's go to Brent Musburger in Philadelphia.
5 minutes and 54 seconds to go in the third. That is 20 straight free throws for the Boston Celtics in this game. I believe we've got a 20-second injury timeout as McGinnis is coming over. Yes, he's over to the bench. Al Domenico, the trainer, alongside Gene Shue. But let's recap some of the action for you. The Celtics have been a little quicker. A few more breaks here in the third quarter, Billy.
They're picking up defensively. They're playing, as we saw a few minutes ago, where they double team, triple team, Julius Erving down low, and were able to get their fast break going.
Richie Jackson now talking to Gene Shue. Jackson has offered refereeing this game here.
What's McGinnis's injury?
Hugh said he had to be fouled with an injury like that. There was no foul called. That's why there's an argument. 5:54 to go in the third. Lead by 4.
Back live now at Landover, Maryland. This is Don Crickey with Mendy Rudolph. Tom Henderson has just hit his 18th and 19th points on a driving field goal. And Washington, as you see, has a 9-point advantage with 4:50 to play in the third quarter.
Cleveland twice had opportunities to cut that lead to 5, and with a poor selection of shots, missed both times.
It can't be Russell now. That's for him as a layup when he gets hot. He can drill those things. Russell's the one guy that they're not afraid to have out there firing that far away because he can hit from there. Although nobody has hit with any consistency other than Jim Jones for the Cavaliers. 73-66, a 7-point game. Chenier spinning off. And a foul on Austin Carr. He has 5.
Personal foul on Austin Carr.
And Snyder will come in the game for Cleveland.
Here we see the stats for Austin Carr. Only 2 from 9 from the field. And Dick Snyder will come in hopefully to pick up. Well, Austin Carr is not hitting. Had he been hitting, Cleveland would definitely be in this ball game. We have an interesting team foul situation here. Cleveland only has 3 team fouls, and Washington, of course, is in the penalty situation.
Chenier has now scored 12 points for Washington. And at 75-66, the Bullets in the lead by 9. Snyder working hard to get free. Unseld steals the ball, and he is fouled by Jim Brewer. Did he get him in the backcourt?
A great overplay that time. Wes Unseld gambled on defense. Well, you watch Unseld in the settling of the screen. He's moving out now, anticipating the pass, overplaying the ball beautifully, and there's the backcourt foul. Good play by Wes Unseld.
Johnny Prostar replacing Butch Walker for the Cavaliers.
Wesley Unseld to the free throw line, the big guy from Louisville, Kentucky. All right, those of you who've been watching Boston and Philadelphia, we welcome you to Landover, Maryland. The Bullets in the white uniforms continue to lead the game. They're up now 76-66. We have 4 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the third quarter. Cleveland has been unable to get the backcourt production in points. Their guards have not shot well. Brokaw's in the game for Austin Carr, who's hit only 2 of 9. Here is Campy Russell down with the rebound now for Cleveland up court to Snyder. Throws it away. Phil Chenier coming up with a loose ball for Washington. Very intense crowd, very intense basketball game as Elvin Hayes guns one up. Long pass down court to Brewer. He walked with the ball. That illustrates what's been happening to Cleveland at 76-66. Washington in the lead and has the ball back. So on the turnover there, Jim Brewer had an open driving shot attempt, but he could not get it without a travel, and the ball turns over to Washington.
Boy, this game is intense. I'll tell you, you can see it on the players' faces. Their eyes are frowning, their foreheads are all perked up. Everybody just giving out 100%.
14 points for Phil Chenier and a 12-point lead for Washington. 3:08 to play as Brokaw looks inside to Brewer. Gary Brokaw jump passing very nicely, and Brewer controlling the ball for points.
Great give and go by Gary Brokaw. And a nice sideline to this game, Don, and I'd like to mention are the 2 veterans on each club. Whenever Dave Bing rises and applauds, it's for his club. And Nate Thurman, his counterpart over on the Cleveland bench, too, cheering his young teammates on. Both veterans doing a tremendous job of lifting these kids up when they have to.
There's a foul on the play with 2:42 left to play in the third quarter, and Washington will go to the free throw line when we return.
For years, this little dog has stood as the symbol for sound clarity. Sound so clear he could recognize his master's voice coming through a speaker. Today, RCA offers you a CB radio with that same uncompromising dedication to sound clarity. The new RCA 40-channel Copilot, with a kind of advanced electronic engineering you should have for clear CB transmission and reception. How clear?
Breaker, you go sit.
That clear.
Brakes need work?
You need somebody who really cares about fixing them right. I care. I'm Mr. Goodwrench. I service General Motors cars at GM dealerships. I have the training and the genuine GM parts designed specifically to help you keep that great GM feeling.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Ask for me, Mr. Goodwrench, wherever you find this sign.
With genuine GM parts.
Spring. It only comes once a year. If you want a nice, thick lawn, now's the time to do something about it. Give your lawn some Scott's Turf Builder right now. Turf Builder helps grass send off new branches, either tillers or rhizomes. This forms new grass plants that'll thicken up your lawn and fill in those thin spots. But don't wait. Before you know it, spring will be gone.
This Friday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports will present NBA playoff action, followed on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. by a playoff doubleheader. That's NBA playoff action Friday night at 11:30 and a doubleheader on Sunday, tipping off at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Back live now. Let's watch that. Phil Chenier driving, bank shot a little earlier.
He'll penetrate now. He'll just hang in the air, use the left hand. We know he's a right-handed shooter. Shifted the ball to his left hand, and that's what I mean by a game-control type of play. You've got to have good hand-eye coordination as Elvin Hayes go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
And when Elvin Hayes scores 30 or more, invariably the Washington Bullets are the victor. He is the catalyst on offense. 17 points now for Hayes in this game, and an 11-point advantage for Washington, 79-68. Penalty in effect for both teams, so Hayes will get another shot. $18 for Elvin Hayes. Comes into the game averaging over 23 points per game for Washington. Gary Brokaw now quarterbacking the Cleveland Cavaliers, working against Henderson as Jones sets the pick outside, and Brokaw weaves around behind it, trying to lose Henderson. Now he fires the jumper, but there's too much on it, and Unseld takes it down.
Now that's bad offense. Gary Brokaw was the only man that time who handled the ball for Cleveland when one-on-one took a poor shot selection, not moving the ball well to his inside forward.
Elvin Hayes can't get it to go, and Campy Russell takes down another defensive board. Help, help! Jim Jones pulling up. And Unseld with those big, strong hands hooks onto the ball and gets it out.
Credit that play to Unseld, great defensively, because he saw Jim Jones get by Elvin Hayes and just shut off the baseline that time. Good defensive play by the captain.
Brewer gets the rebound, and here is Campy Russell weaving against Greavy. And Campy Russell arcs one in. A 10-point advantage for Washington, 13 points for Russell. He's starting to come on, had just 2 in the first half. Has scored 11 here in the third quarter. Foul call on Cleveland.
Now there's a play that possibly should not have occurred. Dick Snyder knew that Phil Chenier was off balance. There was just no way, watch this on the replay, that he was going to score this field goal. Phil Chenier will go up, pump once, pump twice. He's taking a bad percentage shot, an off-balance shot, and Dick Snyder causing the contact, Phil Chenier going to the free throw line. Sometimes you just can't react fast enough. The players commit themselves to cause the free throw, cause the foul, and Phil Chenier in this particular case will have 2 more attempts because they're in the penalty situation.
Chenier now with 15 points for the Bullets. And again, Washington has a 12-point lead. The ball has been in the Cleveland backcourt too much of the time. They haven't gotten it up front to the man who can get the percentage shots as Snyder fires and can't get it to go. Rebound to Elmore Smith. Continuation play. He was fouled and basket will go.
Elmore Smith with good position on the offensive board. Nobody blocked him out. Wes Unseld went for the ball now. Let's watch the rebound on the missed shot by Snyder. There's Elmore Smith. See Hayes, he's taking care of Jones, but nobody took care of Smith. And when he picked up the ball, there was the foul. You got to box out before you go for the ball.
82-73, a 9-point lead now as Mitch Kupchak is back in for the Washington Bullets, who have the advantage. They have the basketball too as Henderson works with it. Chenier, and again Brewer has the good position, boxing out to get the defensive rebound. Campy Russell heads in, and Campy Russell's caught fire, and Cleveland's back in the game.
He was blindsided, too, by Elmore Smith, his teammate, and Campy Russell waited until Elmore Smith cleared out, and again used his body beautifully to bank the ball in.
13 points in the third quarter for Campy Russell after scoring just 2 in the first half. 82-75 Washington, but Tom Henderson will go to the free throw line as Dick Mata shouts out instructions.
Free throws right now are taking a very, very important part in this ball game. Both teams going to the free throw line very, very often as opposed to the first two games. And the team that scores well from the free throw line, of course, has a great advantage. There's going to be a lot of fouls in the fourth quarter also because it's that type of game. Very, very physical.
In the regular season, Washington finished a game behind Houston in the Central Division. The Rockets looking in down in Houston to see who they'll be going against in the opener Tuesday night at their arena. Henderson at the free throw line, a backcourt player from Hawaii, a number 1 draft choice of Atlanta, who came here in the trade that sent Leonard Truck Robinson to Atlanta. 21 points for Tom Henderson. 35 seconds to play. Offensive foul on Brokaw.
Gary Brokaw had no place to go that time. Washington sagged completely on defense, caused the offensive foul. We're going to have a 20-second injury timeout for Bill Chenier, who was injured in the first half. He's going to have another look-see. Now it's Henderson this time with his right shoulder.
Henderson being attended to by the Washington trainer. Following this game, you'll be seeing one of 2 games as part of a doubleheader. You either see the third game of the Chicago-Portland series from Portland, or the third game of the Detroit Golden State series from Oakland, California. Here at Landover, Maryland, we have 34 seconds to play in the third quarter, and the Washington Bullets, as they have throughout, are leading the game 84-75, although they've enjoyed advantages of as much as 17 points in the second quarter.
And the net result so far this first half is absolutely 0 because they left the court with a 9-point advantage, and they have 9 points right now. We're going to have a timeout with Washington calling a timeout. Earl Strom forced Dick Mata to call a timeout because the injury went over 20 seconds, Don.
So they stop the clock with 34 seconds to play in the third quarter, and Dick Mata brings his team over to counsel them as their lead is down to 9. Don't forget, tonight at 8 o'clock, CBS Sports presents Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes with Farrah Fawcett Majors, Connie Stevens, Kathy Crosby, Phyllis George, Gabe Kaplan, Red Fox, Elliot Gould, Ed Asner, Tony Randall, Bill Cosby, many more competing. Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS.
I was out there for some of that, Don. That's a lot of fun. You see those celebrities compete against each other. I'll tell you, they really go nose to nose, and they're really out for what they're doing.
That's tonight at 8. Cleveland still is not able to generate the good offensive plan that gets the ball inside and gets the percentage shots. When they have gotten inside shots, it's been primarily a guy like Russell driving with the ball himself to get it.
Well, they've had no consistency in their pattern of offensive flow. Nobody has hit back-to-back baskets. Cleveland will have to go on a 3 or 4 field goal tear to get back in. There's no way that they're out of this game, believe me. As we look at Nate Thurman with the towel raped over his shoulder, how we'd love to get back in there and play, but when we talked to Bill Fitch before the game, Thurman is not 100%, and he will only use him if totally necessary.
He had a big minute in the Friday night game, came off the bench, played just 1 minute, but he scored a basket and blocked a shot and really tucked up the whole Cavalier team after their 16-point lead had shrunk.
And as Cleveland broke away from their bench, it was Nate Thurman who was patting everybody on their backside. He's an inspirational force for all those young players, as I said earlier, and has taken an awful lot of time in trying to teach Elmore Smith and Jim Jones as much as he possibly can as far as playing the defensive center position, at which Nate Thurman was probably one of the best that I've ever seen, Don.
He was a great one. 14th year in the NBA. In the game now for Cleveland, Brewer, Smith, Russell, Walker, and Snyder. Henderson and Chenier work in the back line for Washington. Mitch Kupchak, Wesley Unseld, and Elvin Hayes are the frontliners. As Henderson takes to the basket and gets it off glass, Walker knocked hard to the deck. It's an 86-75 game.
And Mitch Kupchik that time did a heck of a job of picking off Footsie Walker. He just stayed right in front of him, and Henderson went one-on-one.
Brewer shoots before the third quarter ends and drills it. 1 second, there's the horn before Washington can get the ball in play, and so the third quarter ends with Washington holding to the same advantage they had at the half, a 9-point lead.
Changing to Cam 2 motor oil's like falling in love.
A running and a racing to make it the best. Cam 2. Stock cars, Indy cars, and all the rest. Cam 2. Change your own. The Cam 2 alone. It's tough. You'll love it. Cam 2.
Hey, if Roger Penske is willing to risk a $100,000 car in $1 million race on Cam 2, I'm with him.
Cam 2. You know it's tough, and you love it.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Can Farrah Fawcett Majors beat Bill Cosby in tennis? Just one of the events on Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes, tonight at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
Now for an update on the Celtics and the 76ers. Let's go to Brent Musburger and Billy Cunningham in Philadelphia.
Welcome, those of you who've been watching Cleveland, Washington. Here, 11:06 left in the game, 94-86. Philadelphia with the lead. Julius had 13 in the third, came up on Boswell, misfired. Sidney Wicks getting ready to check back in for the Celtics.
Right now, the Celtics are in trouble. From one standpoint, with Boswell, he's going out now. Sidney Wicks is coming in, but with Boswell guarding the doctor is just too quick for him to play against. Excuse me, he is staying in, Boswell.
Well, they may switch, though, here, Billy, because they took Rowe out. So now he can certainly put Wicks over on the doctor and leave Boswell with Mix. So let's see if they do that. And again, Irving, for those of you who are watching Washington-Cleveland, scored 13 in the third quarter. He's up at the 30-point level now with 11 minutes left in the game, 95-86. Charlie Scott carrying the scoring load. Turnover. Boswell's having a very rough time of it. He's frustrated.
Yeah, the Celtics miss Havlicek right now because he gets them moving offensively. You're not able to stand around. Right now they're standing around and watching each other. They're playing more like the 76ers style of play.
10:40 left here in the fourth quarter with that offensive foul called against the 76ers. It's 95-86 Philly leads.
Back to the live action at Landover, Maryland. You see the Washington Bullets with an 11-point lead. Now Snyder cuts it denied with a long jump shot for the Cavaliers. 88-79, 10:25 to play in the game, and for one of these teams in the season. Washington playing a controlled offense, getting the open man, but Chenier can't get it to go, and Russell takes the ball down. Chenier comes up shaking his head. Snyder fires, and Chenier gets the loose ball. Stolen by Brewer, tipped it over to Snyder. Too much on it, and Unseld takes it down.
Well, I'll tell you, Cleveland has had so many open shots.
They've had the chances.
They've had enough shots in this particular ball game to possibly win 3 or 4 games, but they just cannot hit their open shots.
Wesley Unseld comes out. The big traffic cop watches people roll around him, and now he again hits Chenier underneath. This time, Phil Chenier makes it happen. Those of you watching Philadelphia and Boston, it's heating up here at Landover, Maryland. Only 9 minutes and 11 seconds remain in the season for one of these teams, quite possibly the Cleveland Cavaliers, as they trail by 11 as Elvin Hayes has to be separated.
He's being restrained by Earl Strom now because on this particular play, Paul Campbell, the rookie official, called the 5th foul on Elvin Hayes. And there you saw it on the replay as Dick Snyder will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. A very, very crucial foul because the Washington Bullets can ill afford to lose a scoring man like Elvin Hayes. He does so much for this club.
Snyder at the free throw line. Cleveland's just had horrendous shooting percentages. You see, they can't even hit the free throws. They're just perplexed. Nothing will drop. 9:05 to go, and 90-79. Washington in the lead. Now Elvin Hayes and Elmore Smith are openly shoving each other, fighting for position. No basket. No basket. A foul prior to the shot on Elmore Smith. We have 8:59 to play in the game. It's 90-79 Washington. Now, Weiss brings the ball inbounds to Henderson. Down low they go to Elvin Hayes. And the big lead.
Well, I'll tell you, he was completely out of position, not even under control on that shot, and put it in. That shows you the great scoring potential of Elvin Hayes.
Elmore Smith gets the ball on the pivot and turns around and drops it through. 92-81. 9 points for Elmore Smith. Kupchak feeds out to Elvin Hayes. Elvin Hayes is personally sending Washington on to Houston Tuesday night as we start down the stretch.
Elvin Hayes is doing it all right now for the Washington Bullets, playing with 5 fouls, which has got to bother him, but it's not bothering him offensively.
Elmore Smith shoots on Kupchak. Basket goes, and there's a foul on Kupchak. 94-83. Elmore Smith can bring the Cavaliers back to within 10, but 8:12 shows on the clock now, and time becoming very much a factor, and it's working against the clock, the Cavaliers. Elmore Smith now has 12.
The Cavaliers continue to hang tough. They're only 10 down.
Henderson drives. It was an offensive foul on Tom Henderson.
Well, I'll tell you, Footsy Walker ran into Wesley Unseld on a pick, and what he did, Wesley Unseld gave him a little shove, and when you run into Unseld, it's like running into a brick wall, and Footsy Walker reacted accordingly.
But Unseld picture, it's like Mighty Joe Young getting you. Campy Russell throws up a desperation effort, and the free ball comes back to Russell. Well, he gets something right out of his hip pocket, and that brings the Cavaliers back to within 8, 7:35 to play. 94-86.
I just wonder how long Dick Mott is going to gamble with Elvin Hayes and 5 fouls.
Foul call goes against Cleveland. Leonard Gray comes back in the game, and Wesley Unseld sits down to get a rest before the final minutes.
Mata has got to have an awful lot of confidence in Elvin Hayes' defensive ability because he's playing with 5 fouls and he can't afford to lose them.
Big rebound by Jim Brewer. The Cavaliers can come back to within 6 if they can hit a shot here. Russell against Leonard Gray, and Campy Russell heads to the basket.
Oh, there's one of the big calls of the game. That would have possibly taken the game to 5 points. And Paul Campbell, the rookie official, just wiped out the field call for Campy Russell. Now let's take a good look. Campy Russell will drive by Leonard Gray, and there's Mitch Kupchak with good defensive position. And I've got to say that on the replay, it shows that it was a good call, good defensive position. completely standing still on the play. A tough call for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but nevertheless, that's the way the cookie crumbles. It was a good call by Paul Campbell. Tough call, but a good one.
7:08 left to play in the game, and now we're going to have some counsel between Earl Strom. I'll tell you, Earl Strom is aging about 8 years during this game. He's been all over the floor.
I got had about 3 or 4 years, too, on Bill Fitch. Talked to him before the game, and he didn't look as well as he did when the season started.
They never do. They bounce back, though. 6:58 to go. 94-86, Washington with the ball in the 8-point lead. Bobby Weiss, as the shot clock starts to wind down, gets the ball to Leonard Gray. Rebound, picked off by Brewer. He's been so tough off the defensive board. Always has position, a Paul Silas type. Bingo Smith puts it up. Elmore Smith puts it up. And there's a foul underneath. As Leonard Gray went down, hit his head.
He hit it hard, too. He's holding his cranium, and I'm certain we're going to have somebody come out and take a look at him. Now here's the play as we see it on the replay. Bingo Smith missing a very, very easy shot. Elmore Smith going up, taking the rebound, going up, and he missed the shot. I'll tell you, when you rewrap this game, no matter who wins or loses, there are 4 or 5 field goals that the Cleveland should have had that they didn't have. A big difference right now.
With great skill and discipline, you teach what's been kept a secret for centuries. And when the lesson has been taught and learned, now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
Hello, National. I need a car tomorrow in Dallas. My green light number is 28517.
I make your reservation. 6 minutes all it takes.
I wash the car.
I check the oil.
I test the tires and brakes.
I make sure that they are all completely up to par.
I hand you the keys to a General Motors car.
10,000 people working for you. The big green team. We're National.
CBS Sports presents Farrah Fawcett Majors taking the court against Bill Cosby. Ed Asner is Coach Bob Reiner at the marathon race. And Penny Marshall versus Robert Conrad on the obstacle course. Just a few of the stars on the high-spirited special Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. Sunday at 8, 7 Central Time.
Coming up next, third game of Chicago and Portland, or a third game of Detroit and Golden State, depending on what part of the country you're in. You'll see one of those two games as part of an NBA doubleheader. This is Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph at Landover, Maryland, the Capitol Center. And it's 6.5 minutes left in the game. Washington has the ball. The Bullets with an 8-point lead, 94-86. Led by 9 at the half, led by 9 at the end of 3 quarters. Elvin Hayes forces a shot. Bingo Smith gets the Carolyn side court. Walker up court. Cappy Russell has been the hot hand in the second half. Elmore Smith puts it up. 6-point game.
Elmore Smith that time with great position over Kupchak. There was just no way when you get the ball that low to Elmore Smith, he's going to convert.
Elmore Smith is an overmatch for Kupchak, and Kupchak's on defense. He can go right over him. That's right. Bingo Smith has the ball. The Cavaliers can cut it to 4. We have 5:40 to play. It's got it cooking now. Puts Walker as Henderson stays right with him. Campy Russell with the long shot. Rebound to Elvin Hayes. But Brewer gets the free ball. Walker feeds Elmore Smith. It's a 4-point game with 5:18 to play.
Hang tight, because when Footsy Walker starts to penetrate his job, Cleveland can close this gap even more. Now what Cleveland is doing right now, they're picking the ball up a lot higher and playing a lot better, no hard-nosed defense. Now you see it again.
Walker leads the break on the steal. But Walker gets it to go. It's a 2-point game with 4:56 left to play. A remarkable comeback by the Cavaliers as they're up saluting each other, and with good reason. They are back in the ball game as we head down the stretch. 4:55 to play, and they're down by but 2 points.
Harry, this Chevelle costs less than our little compact.
$38.85? And this is a mid-size Chevrolet.
See?
Huh? My compact costs more. Hey, look at this.
Hey, that's some price for a neat-looking mid-size.
Gee, I paid more for my compact.
So did I.
Me too.
Yeah, the smart, complete mid-size Chevelle. It's priced lower than 34 compacts.
$38.85, Harry. $38.85.
Homelight Sawbug Days are here. Buy any one of these rugged Homelight chainsaws right now and get this $15 woodcutter's kit absolutely free. This woodcutter's kit has everything you need to take care of your Homelight. Bar and chain oil, engine oil, gauge, file, grease gun, and lots more. You're in control with Homelight and the Homelight Woodcutter's Kit. It's free during Homelight Sawbug Days. Check Yellow Pages for your Homelight dealer.
Hi, I'm Tom Watson. You know, the right grip is the basic fundamental for a good golf game. Hi, I'm Tom Watson. You know, the right grip is the basic fundamental for a good golf game. And a firm grip in the road, basic to your driving safety. That's why I use Armstrong tires. They grip the road. And now, your local Armstrong dealer can offer you a great deal on this high-performance steel-belted radial. See him today and see for yourself. Armstrong tires. They grip the road.
Paul Taylor, dead for 2 minutes. Now the dead compel him to return to protect the living from the unexpected, the strange, the terrifying. For the first time on television, the world of the dead, the world of darkness. Sunday at 10, 9 Central.
Cleveland has scored the last 11 points, as you see, graphically illustrated. The Bullets have not put up a point in the last 3.5 minutes of this game. They have the ball now. Time 4:48 left to play in the game as Elvin Hayes gives to Henderson. 94-92. Washington's lead, one time 17 points, is down to 2.
Notice how much pressure now the Cleveland backcourt is putting on the Washington backcourt, which is causing them to take a little bit more time to get their shots off.
The Celtics, you see, have come back in that game there. Look at this, down court to Walker, but it's taken away by Chenier. And again, the Brewers, the big Brewer and the big Smith, Elmore, get in there to fight for that rebound. Cleveland can tie the game if they hit the shot here. You ought to see those faces on the Cleveland bench. Their smiles, but their eyes are as big as saucers. They can't believe their team's come back like this. Bingo Smith spins off. What is that? Elvin Hayes takes it down. Greavy throws the ball in, and he saves it to Henderson. 94-92 Washington. 3:50 left to play. Elvin Hayes fades back and drops it up. And Foots Walker, the smallest guy maybe in the building, gets the rebound.
And what Elmore Smith is doing is he's forcing Elvin Hayes out a little bit further from the basket. Elvin Hayes is tiring slightly because he's played an awful lot of minutes here in the second half. And Elmore Smith is doing just a great job against the Big East.
Cleveland just tied the game. The Cleveland Cavaliers just tied the game. 94-94, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to play. Down by 17 at one point. The Cavaliers have come back to tie the game.
Washington right now standing around on offense, Don.
Here's a foul and a good call as Bingo Smith came over the top on Chenier.
Personal foul is called on Bobby Smith, his first fourth team foul.
Both teams under the limit.
Luckily, it was not in the act of shooting because had it been, Chenier would have gone to the free throw line.
3 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in the game. 14 fouls on the Cavaliers in the fourth quarter, 2 team fouls on the Bullets. That could be a big factor when the penalty goes into effect. Henderson drives, Henderson scores, and Washington leads by 2.
Henderson so quick that time on his second step past Footsie Walker. Elmore Smith was blocking off Elvin Hayes and was frozen to the spot and couldn't pick up Henderson as he drove to the hoop.
Walker drives by. Henderson gets it up and it doesn't go, but look at here is Russell rejected by Elvin Hayes. Henderson goes to the basket on Bingo Smith. And Henderson gets Washington a 4-point lead with 2:20 to play. Henderson with 27 points for the Bullets.
And you got to remember on the previous play that Elvin Hayes, he does it with 5 fouls on him. You got to give him an awful lot of credit to do that and gamble by staying off the boards. There he was on a block shot. Now watch him go up again. And another tremendous play by Elvin Hayes. And there's Henderson on his way to a field goal. You can't say too much about Elvin Hayes in this particular ball game, Donald.
Great replay. Now Cleveland gets the inside shot. Elmore Smith puts it back up. Doesn't go, and Wesley Unseld has. Here comes Henderson. Offensive foul on Henderson. A good call. Bingo Smith had position and drew the offensive foul.
Boy, if you think this game isn't intense, I'll tell you, these players, both on offense and defense, are gambling. You'll watch this action now on the replay. There's Henderson with a great lead pass from Unseld. Bingo Smith will take position on the court. Another good call by the officials on the block and the charge situation. Bingo Smith picking up the offensive foul. Henderson forcing his way to the basket. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care who wins or who loses, these two officials out here are doing one heck of a job in keeping this game under control. They're calling it both ways on the both ends and doing, in my opinion, a tremendous job in a very difficult situation.
Tonight at 8, Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes with some of the big names in show business. Farrah Fawcett Major, that's a big name. Phyllis George, there's another one. Connie Stevens, Red Fox, Gabe Kaplan, Elliot Gould, Tony Randall, Ed Asner, Bill Cosby. Tonight at 8 on CBS. And the officiating really has been a big factor in keeping this game under control. It's going to be the players that win or lose it.
Talking about that challenge of the Sexes briefly, the two teams are coached by Penny Marshall for the female side and by Bob Reiner for the male side, and they really put on the show. It's a great bit of fun. Tune into that one. You'll see a lot of action.
Tonight at 8. The Bullets had gone 5.5 minutes between field goals before Henderson got the driving shot. 98-94. Washington with a 4-point lead. Look at this in the fourth quarter at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Celtics have come back to tie the game.
Well, we got two barn burners going on CBS this afternoon, don't we?
Do we? Now as we come down the stretch inside 2 minutes on the field and on the floor for the Washington Bullets are Henderson, Kinnear, Unseld, Greasy, and Elvin Hayes. Walker will inbound the ball for Cleveland. He throws to Brewer. Can't be Russell. Elmore Smith and Bingo Smith also in the game. Cleveland has to get a field goal here as they trail by 4 now. Bingo Smith puts it up. Rebound comes down to Kevin Greavy. 1:40 to play, and Washington has the ball in a 4-point lead. Winding the game clock down. Henderson goes out to Elvin Hayes. Unseld tips it out to Greavy. Foul on Walker.
Personal foul called on Coach Walker. That is third.
Now Washington has a 4-point lead with 1:18 left to play. And Kevin Greavy, a second-year player out of the University of Kentucky. A sharpshooter will go to the free throw line for Washington. Greavy has scored 13 points.
The free throws will play a very important part in the last minute and 18. Cleveland is in the penalty situation. Washington has one foul to give yet without the penalty.
99-94. Greavy can give the Bullets a 6-point lead, and he does not. Rebound tipped over to Elmore Smith, and so Cleveland comes back down the floor as time is so very much a factor now. 1:12 to play, 99-94 Washington. Gets the ball up court. Now the Bullets can wind the clock down if they don't lose it. It was kicked by Walker. It'll be inbounds to Washington.
A very big play that time down court when Elmore Smith went to the hoop and missed. Washington right now can play the clock. They're up by 5. Cleveland, if they do overplay, will have the possibility of committing a foul, which will send Washington to the free throw line.
54 seconds left to go in the game. Henderson looking to draw the foul from Walker. 48 seconds to go. 99-94. Washington in the lead. Austin Carr back in the game. Phil Chenier throws up a desperation shot. Elvin Hayes gets the ball back outside.
And Elvin Hayes probably came up with the biggest rebound on this particular ball game. That could sew it up for Washington. Elvin Hayes with a tremendous effort this afternoon, both on offense and on defense.
22 points for Elvin Hayes. 27 points for Tom Henderson. 18 for Chenier. Elmore Smith has 16 for Cleveland. Jones 19, Brewer 11, Russell 15. They're up and standing now here at the Capitol Center.
I'd like to remind all our fans too, John, that Elvin Hayes has done all his playing, both offensively and defensively, for the last 5 or 6 minutes with 5 personal fouls. He has not backed off one bit.
Boy, ain't that the truth. Cleveland calls timeout. Trailing by 7 with 31 seconds left to play. We'd like to give very special thanks to our standing technical crew, our production people. Our producer today, Marv Mew, directed by Jim Silman. Associate producer, Rick Sharp. Technical director, Alan Levin. Audio, Willis Webster. And coming up next will either be Chicago at Portland, that's the decider of that best-of-3 series, or you'll see Detroit at Golden State. One of the 2 games, both final games of best-of-3 series, with the winners advancing and the losers going on vacation, as is the case here. And right now it looks like it'll be Washington at Houston Tuesday night.
Cleveland did tie it at 94. Washington then went on to score 7 straight points. We find the score 101-94 right now. And you've got to credit 2 people, particularly on the Washington Bullets side. And that is Wesley Unseld for some key rebounds, Elvin Hayes for some key rebounds, as well as some key blocks. Both veterans have come up with the big plays. Cleveland right now facing an almost insurmountable task in scoring 7 points to tie in 31 seconds. But a great effort by the Cavaliers, who did have some tough shots, had some block shots, took some very difficult shots. And take a look at that Boston score, Don. Boston's ahead, 109-107.
Boy, and that's something. They were way down in that game. The Celtics, champions if they are, and as you know, they wear the crown if they're defending it. That's the first opener of the best-of-7. Elmore Smith scores. 101-96, 27 seconds left to play. Henderson's going to work the ball, draw the foul. He does in the backcourt.
Tim Brewer had nothing else to do but to foul Henderson, just hoping that he'll go to the free throw line and miss. Now he'll have 3 attempts to make 2 shots. That's a pretty good percentage, but Brewer had no choice but to foul.
.29 points for Tom Henderson. And with 3 chances to make 2. Welcome to those of you who've been watching Boston and Philadelphia as we come into the final seconds now. 23 seconds to play. It'll be Washington against the Houston Rockets in an Eastern semifinal series opening Tuesday night. As the Washington Bullets were challenged, Cleveland came back and tied the game, but Washington answered the challenge, and they now lead 103-96.
And there's a perfect example of what I spoke about earlier. Elvin Hayes with 5 fouls, attempting to block shots and continuing to do so.
And Elvin Hayes comes up with a loose ball. Starts down the court as Littlefoot Walker grabs him. 6 seconds to play.
And there's got to be the most valuable player in this game, Elvin Hayes, the Big E, doing it all on the offensive boards, on the defensive boards, blocking shots, Again, I must repeat, playing with 5 fouls, yet it didn't deter him from playing the kind of game that was totally necessary to win.
He missed most of the second quarter with the foul problem. Henderson in the backcourt and Hayes in the front court have been so outstanding. We have 6 seconds to play. It is Washington leading and winning 103-96. Elvin Hayes nailing the top line. 104-96. Austin Carr gets the ball too little, too late. As Carr finally gets the inside shot. 104-98. Henderson holds the ball. And the ball game ends and Washington wins the series and goes on to play Houston. So that's it from the Capitol Center. This is Don Criqui along with Mendy Rudolph saying goodbye from Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. Now stay tuned as we go back to Brent Musburger and Billy Cunningham in Philadelphia.